going on. Look at that. Oh, that pretty harpy. Harp in the sky, harp in the sky. Making it party. Oh, it's all a party. Secure Community Network. You guys are familiar with that, right? Of course. I think there's a lot more to that than we realize. I mean, just ask yourself why that exists, why the rest of us aren't a part of it. A secure community network should be all of the community, right? You have inside information on things to keep people safe. It shouldn't matter what your cult affiliation status is. It should matter, you know, that you're alive, that you're a person, and that's not how it works. And of course, there won't be a single friar that'll come in here and explain to me the secure community network and why it's all good and why it's not supremacist and, you know, all that other stuff, right? That's how it always works. What it means, what the secure community network means, is that I should shut the fuck up. That's it. That's what it means. Don't add. Those are the only details that you need to know. Is that you, me, Goyim, should shut the fuck up. And that's crazy. It's crazy because you know, it makes you wonder just how much of American taxpayers' dollars go into it. Even if they say it's none, because there's not like a direct American taxpayer dollar goes into this because of this aspect of it. But indirectly, and through subsidiaries and all that other shit, it's interesting. It's interesting. And I just, you know, don't you think everybody should be involved in I mean, I assume it's your phone. It's connected to your phone. And when if it hits the shan, you know, the message goes out. That sucks. Somebody wants to buy some stuff. And it would have behooved. It would have benefited me if they would have bought it, been available now, so I could just take it there now and not have to make the second trip. Look how party. Oh, it's also party. See how party that is. On top of the trees like that. Oh, that's so party. I mean, again, don't you wish that you were secure in your community because you knew there was a network that if there was some sort of terrorist activity or some sort of shooting or just any sort of negative something was happening, you would get updates in real time on your phone telling you exactly where to go and what to do, and had special training programs, had seminars and whatnot for you to program you to respond to things in certain ways, so that if somebody asked you a question about your belief structure in any one way or another, you didn't sound like an idiot who starts attacking. You would have, frivolously, where you just say goofy shit. Instead, you would have a programmed script that you knew what to say. Don't you wish that was the case? Not really on that one, but still. The secure community network is it's an interesting piece of puzzle. And it wouldn't even be as interesting a piece of the puzzle if there wasn't the rest of the puzzle. If there wasn't so much other shit that was questionable and separatist and supremacist at its core. And I just don't think people understand quite what we're dealing with, quite what we're up against. Because it absolutely is an us versus them situation. This is a battle. This is a war. And it's a war for not for your soul, but for your life, for your essence, for who you are. Ensuring that you live a life that you probably don't enjoy. I don't know too many people that enjoy their lives. There might be enjoyment in their lives. There might be joyful things that happen in their lives. But for the most part, they don't enjoy their lives. And honestly, I guess I just see it differently, because even if look at this shit. Look at how these clouds are just like you think that's real? You think that's normal, natural? You think the cloud gets pulled apart like that, and like it's a dirt ball in a stream or something, where it's just getting pulled and flowing like that? You think that's how clouds work? There's some sort of mass up there that's getting pulled apart and then flowing like that. You think that's real? Like, I look at that shit and I'm astounded and shocked, and I don't understand why and how anybody could ever believe such insanity. And why is somebody up there taking that picture? That's interesting. Like, I don't know how you see that and think, yeah, that's totally how I like things to look. That's what clouds look like. That's what, the little pieces that are like the ball that's just getting pulled like that, right up over there. How do you see that and think nothing of it? Is it just the NPC thing? Is that literally all it is? I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure all this out. I try to be empathetic, man. I try to see it from your perspective. I try to understand, what I don't understand. And I ask all the time, like, come on, please explain to me how your brain works. Explain to me how you don't see something. And it never works. Nobody ever engages. Nobody is ever confident or proud of what they think or believe. Which again is such a weird thing. Like, why would you ever want to identify as something you're not proud to identify as, or to elaborate on? It's just weird. I've been trying to get Christians to talk to me for such a long time. Yesterday I had somebody that claimed to be a Muslim female. She was so stupid. She was just so goddamn stupid. Look at that. You think that's just normal? That's just how clouds work? They just get pulled apart like that? What? How come clouds don't always look like that? If that's how clouds work, how come it doesn't always look like that? But again, it's like the broad that was here yesterday. Her name was like and I was like, oh, I didn't know. I think her name was Fairy. But I don't know if that's a male or a female name in Arabic. And I said, at first I called her a dude, but then by the way she was commenting, I was like, oh, you must be a gay guy. And she was like, I'm actually a female. And why do you just assume I'm Arabic? It's like, and kept saying I was talking bad about Arabs because I identified her as an Arab. And it's the same sort of mentality. It's like, I'm not talking bad about clouds because I'm identifying this as, what the fuck is going on. And you just, you get this consistent, just stupidity. I mean, I guess that's the only thing I can even begin to associate it with. I hate it. I wish I didn't have such a low opinion on my fellow Goyim. I wish I was more confident that intelligence would come through. I wish that I knew that. I saw a deer. If that was fucking picturesque too, man. I wish I could have stopped and gotten that picture. That was a beautiful shot. I wish I knew that I had to bring my very best because the opposite side, the opponents, if you will, were going to bring their very best, and it was going to actually be good. It wasn't going to just be some dumb shit. But it's just not how it works. Like, this exists, right? This big fucking building is, come worship with us and blah, blah, blah. Okay. What if I have questions first? Am I not allowed to have questions? Because I know by going to your sermons and whatnot, if anything, I'm just going to cause a disruption. The weekly sermons aren't question and answer time. So when am I supposed to ask the questions, and who steps up? It's just weird, man. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine I'm flipping through videos or whatever, and I see someone being like, why does everybody think the Jews control everything? Why does everybody think this? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna watch you, but I'm not gonna contribute. I think I know. I believe I have reasons that I can give that can answer those questions, but I'm just not going to. That's fucking weird. I don't think I'm going to be on very long today, especially considering it's not really worth it. There's nobody here. But look at these hairs that don't grow very long. It's funny as shit. I wish they could go back into the ponytail, but they don't grow that long. But like, again, it's just, I'm not going to be, that's what I was saying, I'm not going to be on very long today. What's the point? My blade is as sharp as it's gonna get. And clearly everybody's terrified of said blade. Like, I love the people that are like, oh, you think chemtrails exist? Yeah? Yeah, what do you think that is? That literally looks like clouds to you? It looks like clouds pouring out stuff. Pouring out more clouds, I guess. Why do you think that's real? Why do you think that's normal? Especially when you look around and like, so clearly this mass is something, but beyond that, the other clouds aren't doing that. So what the hell is this? Right above us. Literally looks like waterfalls almost. Like it's sand, you know. The sands of time. How does anybody see that and not think twice? You know, well, look at that. That's pretty. Oh, okay, cool. Jesus is looking out for me. How come Jesus doesn't do anything about the chemtrails? And or how can you prove that Jesus isn't trying to do something about the chemtrails by speaking through me? And the reason why I get more censorship than everybody else is because those at the top recognize who I am and who's behind me. And, you know, obviously they don't like the Jesus. So they're doing everything they can to modern day crucify me. How can you prove that's not the case? I mean, who else is censoring me? Who has the power to be able to censor YouTube or anything? You know, I couldn't censor anyone if I wanted to. Instagram, you know, whatever. I don't care what the platform is. I couldn't be like, oh, I don't like what this person's saying, so I'm going to stop them from saying it. I'm going to prevent viewers from being able to find them. I'm going to, you know, turn off their comment section. There's nothing I could do like that. I wouldn't even begin to know how to do stuff like that. You know, I think most of us don't even think that's possible. If I tell most people that during my live feeds, someone shuts off my comment section from my perspective, you guys can still make comments, I just can't see what you're saying. Most people aren't even going to believe it because they've never heard anybody else say that shit before. And then you come see it and and then what? You know? You gonna go pray about it? You gonna go pray it all the way? All that good gookie there right there, you're gonna just pray that all the way? I'm gonna get you an organite sculpture and that's gonna do it? Because remember when they were selling organite sculptures everywhere? And they were calling them chemtrail busters, and people believe that shit. You know, when you're desperate because you see just how all-encompassing and all-powerful the enemy is, you become desperate for any sort of relief, any sort of reprise, and any sort of way you can get it. So something like a chemtrail buster organite statue, as ridiculous as that sounds, and you would never ever believe it in any other circumstances, you don't have anything else. There's nothing else that's even claiming that it can do something about chemtrails, let alone busting them up. So of course you're going to be, you know, quicker to fall for it than than you normally would in any other situation. I don't get it. So it's so weird because again, it's not even like a choice. Like, I don't want to be this. I want to be more like you. I want to be the guy that doesn't think anything's wrong, believes in Jesus, believes I'm just gonna go to heaven when I die. Oh boy, oh boy. You know, I wish that was the case. I watched a video this morning with the guy, oh Jesus, what was his name? Pablo. Found out with Pablo something, I can't remember his name. Shared it. And it was a video, it was an interview with a guy called Tom McMillan. And Tom McMillan is the tallest congressman ever. He's a former basketball player. He's, you know, an ambassador, a congressman, blah, blah, blah. He's also the big, tall guy in the famous video of Epstein walking into the party and Trump running over to shake his hand and greet him. I wonder how many other people Trump ran over to greet like that. But the guy that was in there that came in with Epstein is a guy called Tom McMillan, and it was him and his girlfriend, and they came in at the same time. And then later on, at the same party, when Trump is talking to Jeffrey about that girl's hot and blah blah blah, and Jeffrey laughs, Tom is standing behind them talking to Ghislaine. And he pronounces her name perfectly. He says Ghislaine or whatever, however the fuck you say it. Which is always, to me, a dead giveaway. Like, anybody that pronounces that horrible bitch's name right, it's weird. But he goes on this show, and so he was originally set to go. They reached out to him and said, hey, we want to ask questions about the Epstein thing, along with, you know, talk about who you are, but we want to get to the bottom of why, you know, how your life has been affected by being in this tape, being in this famous footage. And initially he says yes. Then 5 days later he cancels. Then the big Trump dump, the big, you know, the leaks, the files dump where, you know, 10,000 files are made searchable, blah, 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 bullshit. He then reaches back out and reschedules the interview, foolishly, and then comes on. And, like, at this point, seriously, this dude has to be a fucking lunatic to think that anybody would be interested in anything other than the Epstein stuff. That he's a part of what is essentially some of the most famous footage in the world, especially right now. And so he comes on and you know, it's done really well because Pablo does this great job of showing how this guy can remember all sorts of things from the past. Fuck. You know, he can remember what happened this date and that date and this conversation and that conversation. But then when it comes to everything associated with Epstein, Trump, Maxwell, his immediate response is pretty much always, oh, that was 30 years ago. I can't remember. That was 30 years ago. Are you saying I have a mullet? Wow. Like, that's a level of desperate stupidity I am just not familiar with, man. You know, like you're that desperate to come up with something that you are. I have a mullet now? Wow, okay. I wish I had a nice mullet. I mean, I could probably get a nice mullet if I wanted to at this point. It looked like you had a mullet. Yeah, I don't have a mullet. So sorry. Okay. Oh, okay. No good to me. Okay. Tunga du haji. Oh, okay. Whew. It is fucking cold. It's like 8 degrees out. It's 8 degrees out here. It's 8 degrees out here. And in standing out here, it doesn't take long before it actually like starts to hurt. It's so cold it starts to hurt. And I'm just fascinated by the idea that people with no technology were somehow able to colonize these areas and didn't die. Didn't absolutely freeze to death. You know, I mean, it's just it's silly. Wasn't meaning to be a douche. No problem. No hard feelings. Understand what I normally deal with. And that my responses are generally, especially to something sort of off topic or whatever, is going to be assuming that you're just another dumbass. But if you're not, I'm okay with that. And I admit that I'm wrong. Okay. Hopefully you hate Israel just as much as I do. Hopefully you want to overthrow the friars that control the narrative more as much as I do, and hopefully you hate pedophiles and all that stuff. Oh, yes. I thought I was too, but I'm gonna have to do it after. What?
What you do? You took my watermelon, boy.
And I will continue to.
Hey! My watermelon!
Did you say your voice crack? Were you just screaming about your voice crack? My watermelon! My watermelon! My watermelon! No matter what, you can't sound threatening with a voice crack. You didn't happen to find that packet anywhere, did you? I had my blunts in a package. Don't know where the fuck it went. Wee. Israel starving Palestinians, screw Israel. That's a very good response. But see, something that I say to people and that doesn't... Okay, so I like to post this little memo to people, but it's not Israel, which doesn't exist. It's just invisible lines that they tell us Goyim are borders. It's not Zionism, the boogeyman, that they give us Goyim to focus on. Yet again, it's just a label that apparently anyone can have. The real problem is the Metitza B'Pei pedo cult that does all of this all over the world. You can't say free Palestine to Lebanon and vice versa. We need to realize that all of the invisible lines were put there to divide us Goyim even further. We are all Team Goyim, and we need to fight against our Goyim common enemy. And that's the truth. So There's this broad on Facebook who is really, really great. Like, her name's Bella. She's relatively beautiful, except she does have like a bit of an eye issue. You know, they sort of, one eye sort of, they don't quite line up. Her headlights need adjusted. But she's really pretty. And the video that I was watching had 23,000 likes on it. Which really, it's interesting because it makes you wonder, so what is she doing saying, you know, whatever, what is she doing differently than I am that is allowing her to get 23,000 views on her video, 23,000 likes on her video? Now, granted, yes, you know, a portion of them is because she's reasonably attractive, but again, she has the eye issue and she's not doing anything sexy like. It's just a face video. Invisible lines keep us running in circles for truth. There are a lot of people who think it's the friars. Yes. You mean there are a lot of people who know it's the friars. But they those same people aren't calling the spade though. They might say it's the friars because so many of them are friars. But they don't say we need to eliminate that friar cult because that shit is rotten to the core. You know, and by acknowledging how rotten to the core friarism is, you then have to see that your Christian beliefs, mentality, idiocracy is a creation. They did that. They're the ones that made that a possibility. And people just don't seem to understand that. The loudest Israel critics at this point are all Christians. And as long as you're a Christian, you're still being controlled by the friars. That's friar nonsense. There is this is one of those dumb things that even like my wife knows. Even my wife knows this. But no, I mean, it's the truth. Like, the origins of Christianity, just like Freemasonry, are in Judaism. So why do you fucking get distracted by what they created instead of who created it? Remember, Christians don't walk around telling you you're not allowed to talk about Christians. They don't walk around telling you that as Christians, they are God's favorite chosen people. They walk around telling you that a completely different religion, the one that killed their superhero, their Jesus, and are the main antagonists in the Bible, they're actually all of the main characters are in the Bible are Jewish. But you believe that those are the... You believe that those are your Christian God's chosen people, and they hate you. Especially the Hasidic ones. They fucking hate you.
That's what I can't stand about Joe. You know Trump fucking hates you. Why do you suck his dick? You are poor. You are uneducated. You sound like
You're dumb.
Yeah. He doesn't like you. You're his servant.
Right.
But you suck his dick. It's the same thing with religion. I just don't get it.
I mean, seriously, how many times does somebody have to get busted raping children before you're like, hey, they rape children? Like, seriously. You act like somebody needs to do it more than once.
I mean, to say say that one person means that all of them do it is a stretch, I think.
I didn't say that. I don't think that all of them do it. I think they're all victimized by it and they all know about it. Absolutely, they know about it. Listen, if I know about it, they know about it. If I know about their own cultural practices and beliefs and shit, they fucking know about it too. Since Trump has been office this term, this country has felt more of a corporacy. I don't know what you mean. You mean corporation? Or I don't know what word you meant to put there. Wee, 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 wee. Wee, 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 wee. I make them say, like a tea kettle, wee, wee, wee. I need a new tea flavor. I'm a big fan of English breakfast, but I need something different. Something robust, but not too fruity. I'm very particular. Corpocracy is when a country is ran by a corporation than an artificial government, an actual government. I mean, but this is where like the irritation sort of comes in, right? Because our country has always like the people that think our country, our government was taken over. I want to know when you think that took place. When do you think this structure that we live under was something different and then it got taken over by the friars that run it today? Yeah. We. I appreciate the new word, corpocracy. But let's be realistic here, right? I mean, I think the hardest thing for people to really wrap their head around is the idea that the things that you like, that you've accepted, that you quote believe, that even those things are as much of the conspiracy as you think the other things are. You know, the good guy, your Ian Carrolls, your Nick Fuenteses, and your Peters, and your Darians, and all of these other truthers, Alex Joneses. So we're doing this now. We're gonna play this game now. Where my shit's gonna start getting all fucked up. All right, whatever. But you know they have you believing shit like Nick Fuentes is like he's a bad guy, right? He's the guy who says all the things they don't want said. What do you? Nick Fuentes is a company man. Fuentes talks more about Israel than you and that kind of shit, right? Now I get it. I absolutely get it. Get out of here. Jerk. Yeah. Picking on the little girl. Yeah, you can be mad at me all you want. I don't care. Stop picking on the girl. Yeah, yell at me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me. I don't care. You close to your size. Go play cow. Cat's mad. The cat didn't hiss. The cat is meowing at me. He's mad at me for scaring. Yeah, I know. I know. You're mad. It's okay. It's okay. You're allowed to be mad at me. Lots of people are. When I'm doing the right thing. Who's on the TV right now?
I told him to put ion on. He likes that.
I know. Who's on the TV right now? Looks like a friar telling people what to think. He wouldn't know. He doesn't pay attention. Yeah. Just a conspiracy. Don't worry about it. Yeah, shit just, shit just freezes and such. Why not? So that's how everybody, I mean, you see it all the time when you're watching YouTube feeds, right? When you're watching people on YouTube, you see their shit freeze up. You see, comment section get shut off. You see all that stuff, right? Nope. Never happened. Gross.
No, if it freezes, it's because my phone freezes. And I can't see anything. Not just,
Right. The other person's feed doesn't freeze, though.
No, it's just my dumb phone. Because, we're a mile away from the fucking store. And
Because we'll just pick and choose which parts are true and not. If there's a bubble, some sort of, defensive censorship bubble around this house, well, that means it's put. And if it's put there, that means there's a reason why they're putting this thing on me. And that means there's a they. And that means there's so many more pieces that come from that. Charles gets mad at, you're going to write every song about Israel. Well, they're not. But secondly, what else am I supposed to talk about, dude? Tell me. I get where he comes from because life's hard and he doesn't want the numbers before I made my 2020 declaration. And you claim what's going on. I was looking at in Florida the McAfee guy. Oh yeah, where's the phone at? Thanks, sir. Right, I know.
There's a wealth of places.
Pedophiles, kill yourself!
Leave it. Oh, you hear that? What'd you say there, bud?
I said pedophiles, kill yourself.
What?
Pedophiles, kill yourself.
I must be raising this kid wrong.
Okay.
He said pedophiles kill yourself.
Hey.
They're not supposed to sit that close.
Hey. He's not trying to mess with her, though.
She's a bitch. Don't worry about it.
She's so mean.
He's a dick, though, too.
He is, but he's not even looking at her. He didn't.
Ouch.
This was not confrontational. He didn't even know she was up here.
Surfside condominium complex collapse. Okay.
E. Is it really necessary? E. E. Nobody else is saying anything. Stop. Oh, so nasty.
McAfee.
Walk
John McAfee did not tweet about the Miami condo collapse. That's a fact. Didn't own a condo in the collapsed Florida building. Let's see. Okay, so this is the AP News is saying this because I saw this video. That's why I know about this. The late John McAfee, the creator of McAfee antivirus software, owned a unit in the condo building that partially collapsed Thursday outside Miami, and 31 terabytes of his files were located inside. False. McAfee, who was found dead in his jail cell near Barcelona on Wednesday, didn't own property at the beachfront Chaplin Towers South condo in Florida, according to the Associated Press review of public records. An image of a tweet in which McAfee claims to own such a property is fabricated. At the close of the week, that included the prison death of an eccentric security software pioneer and the collapse of a 12-story oceanfront condominium tower near Miami. Social media users hatched false conspiracy theories that bound the two unrelated events together. John McAfee owned a unit at the building that collapsed. Read images on Facebook. The address. I never saw that, but what do I know? If anything ever happens to me, please know that the 31 terabytes of files I have located on hard drives in my condo near 88th Street and Collins Avenue, just north of it, read text in an image made to resemble a tweet from McAfee's account. The AP reviewed property records. Well, why didn't you address that part real quick? Did he say that? Because that's pretty substantial. I always wonder why people like him, if you have all this information that is set to release upon your death. Oh, wait. Oh, this is the one. This is the episode. Look at that. That's a planet, I guess. What? What are these images? Oh, yeah. Somebody looks like they took the Jupiter palette. I know I'm jumping all around. I didn't realize this was on. This guy looks like the expert, doesn't he? This is the expert scientist here. This isn't like a computer programmer. And what got blocked out right there? One of the panels just isn't working. Oh, okay, that's normal. This is the best of NASA technology in 2015. You have to be kidding. Okay, so this is something I always find fascinating. Cold doesn't affect the telescope. Here's the massive telescope. Now look, watch what happens when they open it. Okay, so they open it, and that means it's snowing like crazy. Have you ever tried to look through binoculars or a telescope or something when it's snowing outside? Do you know what happens? The focus is off because it keeps focusing on all the different snowflakes. So this is the kind of shit Where in 2016, we could get shown this stuff and we would believe it because the tech wasn't there yet. This is either 2015, 16, 14, something like that. Oh, is that it? We're done? I wish I would have realized it was this episode sooner. Look, because that's real. Look at what you believed in 2016. The earth is that small.
Next story.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
How hostile it is out there.
Mm-hmm. Says the overly chosen looking guy, huh?
Hostile down here.
I mean, it's just this is always one of the better things to do when you're looking into this sort of argument, because you get to see that, like, so when this was produced, this was the top of the pops, man. Good as it gets. You saw this and you were like, oh no, this was an awesome planet. An awesome planet has all the best access, and awesome planet, they wouldn't lie, and you know. You end up believing a narrative that because this is the pinnacle. This is what you're supposed to believe. Why would Awesome Planet be lying? Where the fuck did that go? Accidentally get thrown away. No. 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 I'm so confused. I'm so confused. So unfortunately, today is the day we are taking our dog to his last vet appointment. And everybody is a little sad today. And we're just doing what we think is the most humane thing to do at this point, because his quality of life isn't so good and he's really struggling.
Yesterday, watching them trying to go potties. What made me feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what's going on half the time anymore.
Just his body can't really get in the position.
That packet, it had 3 in it.
I don't know where you put it.
I know, that's why what am I doing? Looking for it. Wee. It's sad shit. It sucks. Life is a weird ass, like, cruel. Life is cruel. You know? Knowing that like everyone's gonna die. And that not everyone is equal, and it's just terrifying. Like, you hope your mind produces chemicals to make you okay with it. Because to me, the whole thing is just terrifying. I know firsthand what that feeling feels like, because I thought it was going to happen. I had eaten some edibles And any other time the edibles are just normal and nothing big deal. I'd eat a couple edibles and go take the kids frisbee golfing. Edibles don't do that much. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
It's not like you haven't eaten them before.
Right. A lot of them before. And so we're out there in the frisbee golf, and it's like the most perfect, just perfect. It's just perfect. And you know me, I can't have things be good and perfect. For me, if it's good and perfect, that means something really bad is about to happen. And so I started, thinking like, wouldn't this be like the worst time for me to die? With these 3 kids here and everybody's having such a good time and it's such a beautiful day and it's so perfect. And here I'm going to keel over and die in front of these kids and ruin frisbee golfing and everything for them. And that's it. Like I just couldn't stop it. And it started snowballing. And my body, this was I have no idea what this edible was. Maybe it was a sativa edible or something. I have no idea. But I was so fucked up that I called my wife and I'm like, hey, I just need you to talk to me for a minute. Just talk me through this. Because I just figured it was like a really intense wave and then it would go away. And it didn't. And I thought, like, I just kept thinking, I don't know where I got these edibles from. It's dispensary, and, for all I know, it's poison. And, and I just kept thinking, like, I don't feel right. If you've ever had the holy shit, I'm going to die on edibles thing, it's intense. And so, thankfully, my wife got a ride all the way up there to come get me, and she talked to me the whole time, and I managed to keep the kids. I let them go play while I went and sat down because I wasn't feeling good.
Thank God we have a 15-year-old that was capable of doing so safely.
12, whatever, they're fine. Not, especially where we were.
Oh, yeah.
And then so at that point, then I'm like, oh great. So now while I'm waiting for my wife to get here, the cops are going to show up. Somebody's going to see me and think I look all fucked up and call the police because, something's wrong with that guy. They're going to show up. I'm going to be clearly all fucked up. Plus, I think I'm going to die, so I'm going to tell them I'm going to die. My kids are going to, and I just kept thinking about my kids. Just kept thinking, oh my God, my kids are going to go through this. Oh my God, my poor kids, my poor kids. And so Anne's got a ride up there and got in the car, and the kids were none the wiser. Just thought I didn't feel good, and I was literally like for 2 days, like it wasn't like it just went away. It was still going very strong for the rest of the day. I hid out in the room, in my room, in my bed, and just did everything but cry. It was so crazy. It was such an awful, awful feeling. And it was like, it was just so real. And it was so, like, this is what people feel like before they die. And we just don't know about it because nobody ever dies and comes back to tell us about it. It was a really intense situation. It was like it was like sex while camping. Fucking intense. I love that. I love that joke. Oh, you get a real job, says the guy who's here every time. Too bad I can't get that job like you, huh? Did you feel when you did that? Christ. What a dumbass. God, Christians are so stupid. They're so stupid. Right? Because anybody at 46 years old, you have Christ in your life, you're just going to be like, oh, I welcome death. Yay. I wasn't even thinking about it from my perspective. I was thinking about it from my kids' perspective. How bad it would be for them, and not just in the long run, but in the immediate, like what it would be like for the kids to deal with that. Because I guarantee if the kids grew up believing in Jesus and their dad suddenly died in front of them, they wouldn't be like, oh, well, that's okay. He's with Jesus now. You dumb fuck. And then he says, fear God. Why would you ever want to believe in something that you fear? Like, it's probably why you don't really believe in intelligence, right? Because you fear it, so maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But this is so typical. This is such a typical desperate Christian trying every way they can to, come up with something because they can't make any reasonable arguments, right? They can't make any they can't say anything that actually matters or has any intelligence behind it. So they're desperately looking for anything they can stick to. Anything. Oh, yeah, you just, that's what happened. See, look. And it's just stupid. It's just not even very thinly veiled. It's even less than thinly veiled stupidity. It's just dumb. Trying to save you. Yep. Because that's why you keep coming back. No, you keep coming back because it's true. Truth is sexy. Not necessarily that you want to fuck it, but that you're attracted to it. And you are absolutely, totally enamored with me because it's true. And you're so desperately trying to come up with something to maintain your own perspective. It has nothing to do with mine. The only way you're going to, quote, save me is if you come at me with some sort of intelligent discourse. And you're not willing to do that. What's so stupid about what Jesus said? Who even, it's like I'm not even arguing with a real person. But there's plenty of stupid things that Jesus said. Plenty. Especially all the whining and crying. You gotta believe in me. I never said I was smart, says dumb people. Like you have to be dumb to say shit like that. I'm not smart. You should just listen to what I'm saying. Why would anybody listen to you if you're not even smart enough to think you're smart? Read just the red words in the right. He's a whiny little bitch. But see, you're so stupid that you're stuck like the surface. The thing that's presented to you. You don't bother to ask, well, who presented it to me? You don't bother to ask or even address the parts that you don't like. And more than anything, you can't even say why you're a Christian to begin with. If when asked, just like any other dumbass Christian, okay, so what is the concrete thing that showed you that Christianity was the right way to go and not Islam or Mormons or Scientologists or any of the other dumb bullshit out there? Some African religion none of us have heard about. I'm a Christian because Jesus saved me. Yeah. Okay. You have 2 master's degrees, and yet you can't spell shit correctly. Gotcha. Why would anybody believe you have 2 master's degrees? I mean, you know, would you buy them online? Because Jesus died for my sins. No. Like, this is such a level of stupidity. I just can't even wrap my head around it. How did Jesus die for your sins? What sins did you do that Jesus died for? How are you such a sinful person that God needs to kill his own kid for you? Yeah, it's dyslexic. Dyslexia is why you can't spell words correctly or use the right words. No, now you're just an asshole. It just shows what a coward you are. Because instead of admitting that you don't have 2 masters, you're a liar, and that, you know, you're just kind of dumb, you blame it on something that people actually have. That's an actual condition people have. And you know, this is your typical Christian here. You've really never sinned? So you say because told lies? Why would I lie? Because you're an idiot. And because you're trying to desperately maintain your perspective. And probably because you're getting paid to do so. But, you know, most people lie because they're too stupid. You know, you can't give a reason why, a provable, you know, legitimate reason why you think Christianity is real and the rest aren't. Saying Jesus died for my sins is just you subscribing to Christian nonsense. So what made you believe Jesus died for your sins? Why do you think that's true? You make up 4 people? That's weird. Come on, let's keep up here. Come on. I am an artist and a music therapist for special needs individuals. And you have 2 master's degrees. Gosh, that's amazing. Almost sounds not real. So why does your God make all those special needs people? What good does that do? How is that part of the plan? To make poor people that are doomed from the beginning. Jesus died for my sins. See what I mean? Can you imagine being so stupid that you have to just go on repeat? It's almost like AI, right? Because AI will say the same things over and over again when it gets backed into a corner. I don't have all the answers. You don't have any answers. Nobody's asking you for all the answers. All I'm asking you for is a legitimate piece of proof as to anything other than you're an arrogant prick as to why you believe in Jesus. Because the reality is, you have nothing. And at least if you were a decent person, you'd say that. You'd say, well, the truth is, I don't have anything but my faith. And if I ask you, why do you have faith in that situation over the other ones? And you say anything other than, because that's what I was told to do, and I wasn't smart enough or willing enough to actually look into it and try to get the answers for myself. So I just believed what I was told. Why are you a prick? You know, lots of the things you say point to that. You trying to push your stupid cult on other people, namely me, while not even knowing what the fuck you're talking about. So for all you know, you could be pushing something horrible, but you haven't bothered to figure it out. So you're just arrogantly, I'm right because I'm right. Well, because I'm right. Well, the Bible says so. Because the Bible says. Because the Bible says. You know where the Bible came from? Who wrote the Bible? You know anything about that? No, and I don't care. As long as I'm good. You know, right now, there are both Christians and Muslims being absolutely starved to death and decimated by the Jews in Israel. Whether it's Christians or it's Muslims, they're basically praying to the same God, right? Why isn't God stepping in to help them? We are all born needing a savior. What are you talking about? Why would you need a savior? Why have you been tricked into thinking you're such a horrible person at birth? You were doing all that heroin and hanging out gangbanging while you were in your mom's womb. You're such a horrible person that somebody needs to die for your sins. How stupid do you have to be? Is there anything that you do in your life that equates to somebody dying for it? No. I haven't mentioned here we go. Even more arrogance now. Now you're going to pretend like you're one of those Christians who believes in all of it, but not one that follows any sort of biblical narrative. So you're actually such an arrogant prick that you're taking what somebody else presents and saying, well, I like all these parts, but I don't like these parts. So I'm just going to go with this stuff. Pretty amazing. All I know is that you are filled with hate. Oh, here we go. Here comes the crybaby. When you start getting backed into the corner and your own stupidity starts being shown to you, immediately the crybaby starts. Well, all I know, and you're full of hate. You are totally right. I am full of hatred for pedophiles, for religious control schemes, for the friars that keep us down, for the church that's constantly raping children while taking advantage of people's, in their worst, at their worst times, at their most desperate times. Yeah, just give us $1,000 seed. I know that's your last 1,000, but don't worry, it'll come back to you. So many people's lives have been ruined by churches and religious wackos and all that shit, and they're never held accountable for it. I fucking hate it. Yep, self-projection. The Bible is a reliable historic document. See what I mean? Like, the level of stupidity it takes to say that. The Bible is not a reliable historical document. It's absolutely not. I mean, it's so stupid. It really is so fucking stupid. I'm sitting here chilling in between clients. You are always whacked out and angry. Religion corrupts pure doctrine. Oh, here comes the arrogance. So you know what the pure doctrine is. The religion that provides it to you doesn't. That's corrupted. But you, all arrogant, you know what the truth is. Such arrogant shit. This is exactly like, if your shit was true, you wouldn't need to do that. If your shit was true, you would just join and follow the rules and be like, yay, this is the best. But because it's 2025 and you're not that stupid, you find all these holes in the biblical narrative and in the church narrative, especially all that child rape. And so you say, oh, well, you know what? I want to still get the benefit. I still want to go to heaven when I die, but I don't want to be a part of the group that does this or that. So your arrogant ass just picks and chooses what you like. It's ridiculous. People like this are never satisfied or happy about anything. Isn't it funny how both of these crybabies that I assume are claiming Christianity are saying the same dumb shit because they can't actually argue against any of the points being made? You're just angry. You just hate child rape, and that's just a part of things. Why are you so mad about the child rape? Why are you so mad about the the cult controlling things and then the genocide that comes from it. Why are you so mad? I get that you're angry about the horrors of this world, but why angry at me? Yep, and I'm just screaming, ah! 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 This guy, ah! This guy's trying to debate, and I'm just screaming. You are complaining about rules, but if someone doesn't have your views, they're wrong. THEIR, wrong. You really tried to get it right that time, but you still didn't. You still didn't. God, are you dumb? Yep. Which are my views again? Please tell me which fantastic views I'm requiring of you that also require you to have lots of faith because there's no proof of any of it. You mean those crazy views of mine that we should kill pedophiles? Oh, how dare I want other people to share that belief with me? Oh man. How dare I think people should agree with me that genocide is awful? What kind of crazy person am I? Anyway, believe in this magical deity that I'm working on the book about, and it's going to require you to send me money. So that part too. But hey, if you send me money when you die, it's even better than heaven. Yeah. My thing promises fucking back massage chairs and shit for everyone. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. And in my thing, you get to pick what age you are when you're in heaven. You get to be like, I liked myself at 26. I'm going to be 26. Yep, like that. And you're not going to be required to be standing there waiting anytime a relative of yours dies so you can, hi, I'm a third cousin twice removed. Hi. Yeah. My heaven's going to be awesome. Yeah. It's good. It's we're going to call it Bevan because it's better than heaven. Yep. I have a relationship with God. Oh, yeah? Come on, arrogance. Tell us about this relationship you have with God. When you're having this relationship with God, do you ever ask it why it's sitting there hanging out with you and not appearing to Netanyahu and telling him to stop the genocide? All of you that have your relationship with God, all of you that believe your arrogant prayers are heard by your God, how about this? How about you all stop being extremely selfish and hoarding all that goodness for yourself, and you all at the same time, on the same night, in the same good night prayers, you all demand that your God appear to Netanyahu and tell him to stop doing what he's doing. Why wouldn't you do that? I hate child rape too, bro. But you really think all Christians are responsible? Yes. Yes, you know why? Because you all know it exists. You all know that your organization is one of the most prominent, prolific child rape groups in the world. And none of you demand that your group do something about it with all of its power and reach and finances and all that. None of you demand that the clergy that is guilty is held accountable like any other person would be. None of you is demanding that your your Vatican, which, you know, you might say you're Christian or this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, you're just a Catholic who doesn't like it. But none of you are demanding that your religious sect, your organization, takes large majority of the overwhelming, incredible funding that they receive, and forms a pedophile task force to expose and eliminate and get these guys arrested, like so many regular people are capable of doing that don't have millions of dollars at their disposal. So while you all sit there and watch it, you all know it takes place, and you all say nothing about it, yeah, you're all guilty. You're all fucking guilty. Because if it wasn't for you and your blind faith, then those people would be held accountable. You keep going to extremes. Yep, I'm going to extremes. Like, those don't matter. Like, because there's extremes, and there are lots of them, because it's not the norm, it's not the majority, then it just shouldn't be focused on. Again, this is the best the Christian can come up with. The Christian is sitting here trying to make it sound like I'm the bad guy for wanting pedophiles to be eliminated at all cost. Doesn't matter if it's only one in your congregation. He needs to be eliminated. Yep, I'm the bad guy in this. How dare I think along these lines? Okay, new question, right, because you didn't like the answer to that one, and you couldn't come up with anything reasonable to say, so now you're going to try to change the subject again. What a surprise! You really think this universe wasn't created by all-powerful God? Who made the Big Bang then? Oh my God, so stupid. So now you believe God made the Big Bang? Why didn't Jesus come down and say, hey, you're on a big fucking rock flying around. See that fire thing in the sky that seems like it's moving? Yeah, it's not moving, you are. And you're just one of many, many planets. You know, you got a bunch in this solar system. You got 9 in this solar system. 8, 7, 6, 5, depending on whatever the fuck they call them. Is it 7 or 9? Whatever. But then there's these, all those lights in the sky that you see at night. Those are all like that light that's in the sky during the day. Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, it's a huge fucking system, and you're all connected, and da da da. How come Jesus didn't say literally anything like that? How come your Bible, like literally the first thing your God does is build the indestructible dome? Why don't you know that? Why as a Christian, as this devout dumbass Christian, do you believe in space travel? Do you not know what your Bible says? Do you not know that your Bible references the earth being a flat stationary plane multiple times? Come on now. How stupid do you have to be? Which side of the coin are you on? Oh wait, I forgot. You don't believe in the Bible when it doesn't work for you. You believe in the nonsense in the Bible when it fits your narrative. But the work, you're like, I'm a King James this bitch. I'm just going to omit those parts I don't like. Yeah. Why the fuck not? If you actually read the Bible, you just got done saying you don't care about the Bible. It tells about heaven and how we will have a new heavenly body. Okay. You don't get to go to heaven. You're not part of the 12 tribes of Israel that each have 12,000 members that get to go to heaven, so there's 144,000 spots. Again, it's so interesting how you fucking religious people don't know your own shit. You like to paraphrase or, maybe repeat some bullshit you heard some other dumbass say. But you don't know the shit that you just don't know your own shit. And again, your arrogant ass said you pick and choose which parts of the Bible you believe depending on, what story you're trying to get across. All you do is read the comments in a stupid voice, not too far from your real voice. Oh man, does it hurt? Because it seems like I really do address everything you're saying, which is why it takes so long to get through all of the comments, because each comment getting addressed takes some time. But nope. Casualties of acts of war are not casualties of acts of war. Wow. Yeah, you're right. They're not. What's happening in Palestine at the hands of the Israelis is exactly genocide. Those aren't casualties of acts of war. Just like October 7th, where no Israelis died and no Israelis were taken hostage, was just a bunch of false flag bullshit. I pray to God. I'm not so arrogant as to think I can make demands to God. Oh, you just think you could ask him for stuff. So instead of demand, because I knew you would focus on that. I actually said it to sort of trap you because I knew that was what you would focus on. So why don't you ask God instead of any of the arrogant, selfish things that you normally with your relationship, because you have a relationship with God, remember. You have a relationship. Why don't you ask God why it's letting all those children be starved to death and then murdered? What are they not doing right? How do you pray that's so much better than how they pray? I mean, I'm sure you're tithing left and right? Because God doesn't answer prayers. God answers tithing. Are you demanding anything? What are you doing to fix anything? Apparently what I do is so important that not only do I get censored, but the people that are allowed through will spend hours after hours, day after day, week after week, month after month, desperately trying to get me to stop doing what I'm doing. So, I don't know, other than trying to have the conversation, expose the truth, talk about it all. I don't really know what else I could do. I know you guys think I should get my red headband and get my guns and all my grenades and my knife and my arrows with the explosive tips and catch a ride on a helicopter so I can get dropped off in Israel, where I can then make my way through the Israeli army and take out Netanyahu. Yeah, that's what I should do, right? Instead, the Catholics helped hundreds, if not thousands, of Nazis escape capture. What? What are you even talking about now? I thought the other two people watching are Catholic. You just sound stupid to us. Oh. Yeah, I'm the one that sounds stupid because I don't believe in magical sky daddy. Yep, that I sure do sound dumb. What happened to the Jewish genocide back in the 1940s? What are you even talking about? Are you talking about the Havara Agreement? Signed in 1933 between the Nazis and the Jewish federations that allowed for 60,000 plus German Jews to begin the colonization of Palestine long before there was any sort of anything. What about the Havara Agreement? Is that what you're talking about? I know a lot of people talk about the Balfour Declaration, which isn't really the Rothschild Declaration, but I don't waste my time. I'm much more concerned with the Auto Emancipation Pamphlet. What about that part? 1882. You want to start throwing out dates? Let's see how well you know this. Muslims have never paid for their sins. So stupid. Like, seriously, it's like there are these, it's like there are bots, right? It's like robots. They can only say what is programmed to be said. They can't actually address what's said. They just say something else that's just stupid. I'm not Catholic. just a Christian. No, you're a Catholic. A follower of Christ, and this follower has probably done a whole lot more to prevent and stop pedophiles than your dumbass. Oh, I bet you have. While also supporting the #1 child rape organization in the world. Gotcha. You ever go back and watch these videos? All you do is repeat the comments. It's like a tick. It's a sign of stupidity. All I do is read. So I'm not supposed to read the comments anymore? Okay, cool. I'm not going to read your comments anymore. Sounds good. I don't want to be crazy. I don't want to have some crazy tick because I read the comments. So don't want you to feel like you're contributing to my craziness. So you don't get your comments read anymore. Sound good? Looking stupid, man. You know? But this is exactly what you get. This is what Christians do when and because they can't actually engage in any sort of intelligent discourse. They can't answer for any of the questions that come up. They can't answer for any of the contradictions that come up, the hypocrisies. They have nothing. They literally rely on faith because what else can you have? You can't use logic. You can't have reasoning. You can't have information. The only thing they can do is just make up nonsense. And it's very consistent. These are pedophiles supporting piece of shit, you know. Again, do you see these people out here condemning the genocide happening to their own people? There's Christians being killed left and right, if there are any Christians left, if they haven't all been killed already. But Palestine is full of Christians. They're not out there yelling for the end to the genocide to protect their Christian ally brothers and sisters. The fact is, even if it was all Muslims, for them to not condemn the genocide of children starving to death and then bombing of children just because they don't believe in the same Sky Daddy you do, it just shows what fucking horrible people they are. It just shows you what insanely horrible people they are. And it shows you how stupid they are because they don't know. Ask them what the origins of their shit is. They don't know. You know? The entire Christianity myth is just a Jewish creation. It's a fantasy. It's a fairy tale. And it's embarrassing. But it works, man. It absolutely works. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Christianity is an Abrahamic monotheistic religion. Abrahamic. Gee, who is Abraham? Abraham is the father of the Jewish people. Let's see what it says. Abrahamic religions. The Abrahamic religions are a set of monotheistic religions that respect or admire the religious figure Abraham, namely Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Although the term also often encompasses several smaller faiths. The religions of this set share doctrinal, historical, and geographical overlap that contrast them with Indian religions, Iranian religions, and East Asian religions. The term introduced in the 20th century replaced Judeo-Christian to include Islam as an Abrahamic religion that acknowledged the differences between Judaism and Christianity. However, It has been criticized for oversimplifying cultural and doctrinal nuances. The term Abrahamic religions and its variations is a collective religious descriptor for elements shared by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Why would they? And the fact is, it's not like these are. You can figure the feed starts fucking up because we're starting to talk about this shit. Surprise. Oh, look. So hopefully you guys join in a little while when we restart this shindig. Today, go check out all the links in the description. And as my son said earlier, pedophiles, kill yourself.